Oh, baby, please. Oh, YouTube, how are we? Training volume, title of the video. When to change it up? What do I mean by training volume? How many reps you do, how frequently you train, what protocols of training should you do, at what times, and why? What things should you consider? Does my face look a bit chubby? It's been a while, innit? I can eat my food now, you see. I can eat calories. I'm actually enjoying my life. Feels great. And why am I bringing this topic to you? It's because I have recently changed my training volume. I have been following a low volume style of training system for well over 12 months. And I would say that I've packed on a fair bit of tissue. And I train that way through the off season into competition prep, and I've been doing the same thing all the way through. Now I need to change it up. Something needs to change because I want to get out of my comfort zone. And that's the biggest thing as well, is moving away from that, oh, I'm used to this, I'm used to training like this, I need to move things and change things up. Am I feeling like I'm pushing my limits? And that's where results are made, by pushing our body just slightly out of its usual zone, let's say, yeah? I'm going to take you through and what things to consider when training, changing up your training volume. Let's get cracking. Why change up training volume? Well, the first things we should ask ourselves, I believe, is the why. Number one would be results. That's why you clicked on the video, that's why you're watching me right now, and the same for why I'm doing what I'm doing, is we want to achieve things. And there could be times where things can get quite stagnant and we feel our bodies are not changing, we're not getting the results that we deserve and are working for. So we want to change things up. Yes, we can change up our food. We can increase or decrease our cardio. We can increase or decrease our rest. And then one thing that we can change is our training volume, the style of training. Now, what do I mean by the volume bit? I'm simply meaning the amount of weight that you lift. We could decrease and increase that. The time and attention, the techniques that we train, the training in terms of, you could change your frequency of training. I think I've said volume far too many fucking times. So, without further ado, I'm going to get into my workout. My training volume, that V word, I have now increased. So the amount of working sets have been increased dramatically. The amount of repetitions I do per working set has increased. It is incredibly demanding. And that's the first thing that I want to talk about, which I'll get to in a minute, is you need to be aware that the demand will be stupid high, depending if you're coming from a high volume down to low or vice versa. It'll be different and it'll hurt. Why? Because your muscle is under tension for a greater period of time. Thus, muscle soreness will occur. Lactic acid buildup, that disgusting stingy pain that you get, you're going to get that more frequently, okay? So that is one thing to consider. Oh, and also, as you can see, I'm using these two handles. They're fucking great. Just gives you that little bit of a movement within your wrist. So it's a little bit more natural rather than that fixed. And also, if you want to just turn them inwards, so your palms are slightly facing up, so into a supinated position, driving your elbows close, more lats. If you want to pull your palms, push your palms down a little bit, so you're in a pronated position, you can now hit more of your upper back, trap and rear delt. More natural than having to go and grab other pieces of kit. You can just simply move your wrists. You know what I mean? Yeah. Are you rocking a stash? Oh, it's Movember, isn't it? Oh shit. Shall I do that? I'll do it. Huh? Really? I'll go out and get a Mackies and then come back. Right, consideration number... I'm not going to run by numbers because I'm going to forget. Wrist straps. Accessories when you train. Now we're going to talk about adding volume. So no doubt your time and attention will increase throughout your workout, right? So muscle soreness, lactic acid, that burn, that stingy feeling that you're going to get, that's going to happen. So get yourself some of these. I would say these or figure of 8 straps, especially when you train your back and you're pulling things. My forearms are gone already and I've done only 4 sets. I'm only 4 sets deep into the workout. My forearms are gone. So to alleviate any forearm or any grip strength, to allow you to be able to complete the workout with as much oomph as you can, make sure you use wrist straps. That's my next bit of advice anyway. Question is, when you try and get angles like this, you've got to wonder if it's actually going to focus on you and not the bar. See this little orange grip? See this? Got this off of Amazon because I'm cheap. You can buy really expensive ones for like 40 quid. But just like I mentioned, on the single handles on that low row, that low cable row, natural articulation of your wrist. The more natural I feel, I just feel more comfortable. And I can get more of a squeeze, a flex, more of a nice stretch, and I can actually feel the muscle doing the work rather than me just moving the load. You all want to be like me, I know you do. I know, you don't want to admit it, it's fine, it's okay. But I know deep down you want to be like me. So just copy this swag. So when I'm pulling down, I almost tilt into my side and drive my elbow down. And don't worry, just get in the way of my video, it's absolutely fine. As you drive the elbow down, try and flex your lat. So almost loosen up your grip and pull in and bend to the side. There's a lot going on. It's almost like learning to drive a car or ride your bicycle. But take a look, and trust me, it'll make a world of difference. If you can't feel your lats, try this. Even try at the beginning of your workout with a very, very light, minimal weight towards it. Really squeeze, stretch, squeeze, and you're able to drive some blood and get a nice mind muscle connection in there, all right? Chest is high, leaning in, flex. Chest is high, drive an elbow in, flex. Chest is high, pull down, flex. Ooh. Next thing, I would say, that's heavily overlooked, something that you probably didn't even consider, and that is hydration, fuel. And the first thing you think about when you hear the word fuel is food, right? Your potatoes, your bread, your whey, your cottage cheese. However, that is incorrect. Hydration is so overlooked and incredibly important. Your body is almost 100%ly made of H2 bloody O. Drink. Do you need to have anything in your water when you train? Absolutely not. Is it needed? No. Is it a necessity? No. Could you? Yes. For example, I'm drinking EAAs, essential amino acids. What is that? It's, in basic terms, what your chicken breast is made out of, what your tuna's made out of. It's the building blocks of each protein molecule. Amino acids, okay? So there is a potential outcome from intense exercise, especially when fasted, when you've got no food in your tum-tum, kind of. Usually you would have eaten at least maybe 10 hours before, and that food is still bloody digesting in your system, so you've still got calories running around in your bloodstream. However, there is a potential risk of being in a catabolic state in which your body potentially, it's all potentials, and it's all maybes, could be eating away at muscle tissue. Simple as that. Am I scaring you by saying that? No. Should you be scared? No. Is it a load of bollocks? Could be. If you are strict money-wise, if financial reasons you can't afford EAAs, don't worry. Get your kitchen tap, get a big old jug, and just chug away when you train, okay? A consideration of time spent in the gym. Now, if your volume has been increased like mine, even if it's decreased, both changes are going to demand more from you. And if you're at the start of this change, of this little transition period, it could take you more time inside the gym. So just have that in the back of your mind. Set aside an extra perhaps 20 minutes. Set off to the gym a little bit earlier. Have your pre-workout a little bit earlier. Get to bed the night before a little bit earlier. Prep your meals a little bit earlier. Just have that consideration. It's all about just being prepared ahead of time. Having that boss mentality towards things. Bosses arrive early or on time. They are prepared. They are organised, ready to fucking go. So if something does occur, what's occurring? That was a terrible Welsh accent. I've never watched Gavin and Stacey, by the way. You have that extra bit of leeway to make those appropriate changes. So pulling from below the knee on a rack pull. You can pull from above the knee, focusing more on your back. It is back day, it is pull day. But I like to have a little bit more extra range. I typically don't conventionally deadlift. I don't deadlift off the ground. I never really have religiously. So if I can somewhat replicate that a little bit, just a little bit, by pulling a bit further and adding more range, then I will do so. Just like Arnold used to say, I'm not going to bother doing it in his accent. Don't bother doing all cardio, just lift weights quicker or do more reps. That's another thing that you'll find. Here's another one. Be aware that if your stamina or your conditioning, your cardiovascular conditioning isn't tip top, if you suffer with asthma like me, then that's something that please take into consideration. Bring extra inhaler. You can get quite puffy. If training is boring, if you're bored of your current training split, or you want to learn a new skill, and that skill being putting your body under new pain. If your current training schedule protocol split isn't causing enough pain, and you hear it all the time, does pain equal result? Not necessarily, but you've got to feel some level of discomfort. We have to. So if your current training isn't pushing you to a level of discomfort, pain, feeling uncomfortable, out of breath, muscle soreness the day after that, this is another reason, another thing to consider to adjust your training volume. You want to learn how hard you can work? Up your training volume. Da, 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 baby. Hey, I've got something else. This is a good one, actually. Hear me out. If your training has changed slightly, your intensifiers might change as well. What's an intensifier? Things to make things more difficult, such as cluster sets, drop sets, supersets. So, that being said, what are they? You need to know what these things do, what they're called, and why you're doing them. So, education. I think that's definitely something that you should consider. So talk to your coach, find a coach, Google it, read a magazine, read some books, talk to the people that you trust, that understand what, and you would hope that they know what they're doing. Talk to them, learn, be a sponge. Love with the cocoa. Done, finished, complete. Voila. So, I have one final thing to talk about, and that is novelty. That is enjoying your workouts. Something heavily overlooked. We just think we've got to come into the workout, come into the gym and do the things that your favourite influencer does, your favourite bodybuilder does. Oh, we've got to do that because I think that's what we're supposed to do. Do you need to come in the gym? No? Could you just walk your dog? Yeah, it's probably not going to be enough. Especially to build muscle tissue. But what I'm talking about is coming into the gym and doing the things that you enjoy doing. If currently your training split is boring AF, change it up. That is something that is heavily overlooked, is the enjoyment aspect of this. Hey, if you're coming in here and not enjoying yourself, what is the fucking point, okay? You don't know how long you got left on this rock. You better start enjoying yourself. So, just like what I tell my clients, if they're in other gyms, if they're traveling, go and use pieces of kit that you're not used before. Go and try a different workout. Go and do some hot yoga. Go and do some powerlifting. Go and change your training up. for enjoyment purposes, because you're going to do it more, you're going to do it more frequently, and you're going to enjoy yourself. There is no point in doing it if you're not going to enjoy it. Now, there will be aspects of your training that won't be enjoyable, like I mentioned earlier. To make it hard, to make it uncomfortable, to find that pain, to push yourself past that pain barrier. We need that, but that aspect of enjoying yourself, do not lose that, okay? And I think I'm going to leave it there. So, I hope that helped. I hope that was a little bit of an insight into the things that you can consider or should consider before, during, changing up your training volume or aspects of your training systems and protocols inside and outside the gym, all right? And I will see you next time. Don't forget to share this, comment, like, please hit that subscribe button because it all helps. And I'll see you in the next vid. Ta-ra!